Hello, welcome to Show Boys. My name is Mike, and we're here for another enthralling and super entertaining episode of the podcast for you guys. I'm joined as always by my good friends, fellow hosts, and producer who is currently sitting around half health. Hopefully, he can heal up a little bit during the episode tonight. But yeah, Nick's here, Chad's here, and Dad's here. The whole crew's back. Nick, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, Chad, what's up with you, bro?
I am. Nothing's up with me. You threw me through a loop. You don't ever ask what's up with me. You ask how I'm doing. So I'm just not even going to ask you what's up with you.
All right. Dad, how are you?
Well, as you can tell, my HP is kind of low.
Yeah.
Not feeling the greatest.
Hope you brought some potions.
I did.
Are you sick?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, do people get sick in the summertime? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Strange people get sick in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, really sick people get sick.
Strange people who do strange things.
That's my level of being tired.
Yeah.
I mean, Country Fest was
gotcha.
just last weekend, so I imagine a lot of people are sick.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Country Fest?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
it's like, 30 minutes
I'm
west
sick.
of here?
Thinking about country music, actually.
That Clay's
Ugh.
Park?
Probably.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, on
so.
Canal Fulton. It's off the map for me.
Yeah.
It's in some like foggy area between Canal Fulton and 71.
You haven't
He
cleared the
hasn't
fog
cleared
yet.
that part of the map yet.
It's just like off the map right there. That's how I think about the world. It's like, yeah, it's
Yes.
gray right there. Not sure.
Speaking of weird people, have you guys seen the video floating around Twitter the last handful of days?
You mean
or so?
Thread?
No, I mean Twitter. It's still alive, at least for today. Some lady, probably around our age, maybe a little younger, on an airplane, like seems
Oh,
very intoxicated, like walking towards the front of the plane, like, get me off this plane. That man is not real, and you guys can stay on here and die with him if you
Yeah.
want, but I'm getting off.
I don't think I didn't think she sounded intoxicated at all.
You
I
don't
think she was
thi- you
having a
don't think
panic. I thought she was having a panic attack.
Yeah,
She was
it-
just
it's
tripping.
So weird. It was super weird.
Yeah.
You should watch the video and then read through the comments on said video on Twitter. They're great, fantastic. Apparently, Lizard Man was on the plane or something.
Dang.
Yeah.
Does she have her lizard man glasses on that can detect them?
Maybe. But yeah, we have a fun episode for you guys tonight. We're gonna be catching each other up on what we've been playing because apparently summertime is game time for Show Boys. So that's been going on. Before we get into that, though, got to shout out the top tier patrons: Joe C, Yusuf H, and
Shout out.
Tim B. Thank you guys, as always. Thank you to our other patrons, and yeah, we start up the new Patreon series this month, so be on the lookout for that. If you're interested, go to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Check it out. Sign up today. Take care of a little house cleaning stuff. Chad, Demon Slayer, how's that going?
It's going great, man. Yeah, it's been a blast so far.
How many episodes you guys have out now? 3?
I think we have 3. Yeah, we have 3 episodes out. We're a little over halfway through the season.
You're doing 2
probably
episodes an episode. You're doing 2 series episodes per podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And there's 11. So it's going to get a little funky there probably at the end. But
big finale with like
big finale. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do
the
it.
good thing about it is the final episode's like an hour or like 46 minutes. So we could probably just save that for a whole thing. But yeah, it's been a blast, dude. And if you guys have watched it all, like I think last episode, the episode before the one that just came out, I started doing trivia with Brady at the end, Demon Slayer trivia. And this kid like remembers stuff from years ago. And I don't understand how he does it. And he said to me one time, like, can you close your eyes and like flip through specific memories till you get to the one that you want to remember? And I'm like, no, bro.
What?
Oh,
I don't know what you got going on there, but no, that's not a normal skill humans have.
Yeah,
that sounds like a photographic memory. That's
Yeah,
kind of how
I
I
think
think
he
about
does.
things.
Yeah.
Because at my job we have these like trainings we have to do, but they're online and there's quizzes throughout them. but certain ones you can really just kind of like click through, and then you get the quiz, and really the first time you can just like blow through because it tells you the right answer on the way if you get them wrong. But all I need to do is see that right answer for like a half second, and then the second time through, I'm like, oh yeah, that one, this one, that one, done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I think about things. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he's also, having that at his age, like he probably just sponge all
he
the
is.
information.
Yeah, he is. But it's like jarring to me because he watched a lot of the first season of Demon Slayer like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm like, dude, how do you remember this one specific scene? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not the first season.
He doesn't sleep. He just rewatches Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So keep an eye out for those. Let's see. So you say you're about halfway done. So you got like what, 3, 4, 5 episodes left?
Yeah, we just did 5 and 6, I believe, and there's 11 episodes. So yeah, 5.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Well, you can find those there. They're in a playlist on the YouTube channel, and we're uploading the audio versions of those too on all of the audio platforms. So check that out. Dad and Nick, do you guys have anything going on that you guys are doing?
I'm giving away a Switch when we hit 1,000 subs.
Oh, what? Right. We're getting close to being halfway there. So maybe we'll give something away at 500. I don't know.
Chugging.
Creeping up. We'll give like part of the Switch away.
We'll give the Joy-Con. At 750 we'll give the dock, and then at 1,000 we'll give the OLED screen.
So like 10 different people will have 10 different parts of the Switch, and they have to work together to put it together.
Yeah, teamwork, guys.
I like it.
We have episode 4 of 5, so the penultimate episode of Pokeboys season 1 coming out tomorrow. That's been a blast.
Pokeboys.
We have actually just started our playthrough for our season 2 game and challenge, and it's absolutely wild. So stay tuned for that. You can join the Discord. We're encouraging everyone to play along with us and share your teams and all that fun stuff. So do that. And lastly, I had a blast last week talking to Ben Berman, director and filmmaker. If you haven't listened to that episode, you should go give it a listen and then tweet at Ben and tell him how awesome he is. I also watched his short that he directed, 4 Easy Steps to Lose Weight, or something that Joe was referencing in the comments during the episode. And it's like 7 minutes of comedy gold. Like, I was laughing so hard. It's so good. You guys should watch that. Yeah, let's get into the episode. We're just going to do our classic what's playing, go around the horn, talk about games we've been playing. We might show some gameplay of said games just to help give you guys the better visual of what we're talking about while we're talking about it. Yeah, who wants to start us off? Let's have Chad. He wasn't here last week. What have you been playing?
I don't think I've been here the past 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I think that might be.
We skipped the Flash AP, which was the week before when Jordan was on, and then he skipped the Ben Berman interview.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Chad.
I'm back. I'm here. I've been doing things here, just not with you guys.
Yeah, this is true.
That's how it is.
Yeah. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Tears of the Kingdom, which I put a colossal amount of hours in.
You were at like 40 on the shared account last we spoke, but that was like 4 days into it.
Yeah, we're at. I have to double check it now. It's probably a significant amount more now, but the last I checked, it was 240 combined.
I was gonna say you're at least in the high 100s between the two of you.
Yeah, for sure. Because Brady hasn't really played that much outside of past our episode that we did, our Patreon episode that we did for it.
Chad told me.
Yeah, it's really all Roman, I think. I mean, I don't want to act like I haven't played a colossal amount. I have played a colossal amount of the game. But yeah, I think majority of the hours are probably, if they were split up. It's really annoying that it's like that, but I guess it's the way we set our switches up is the reason that it's like that. But yeah, dude, what a game. I mean, game of the year by a long shot so far. I don't know if there's even anything like Spider-Man, and my money might have a chance of knocking it off, but I don't know, dude. It just takes everything that Breath of the Wild did and makes it 10 times better. I try to come up with a number every time. Like it's like 3 times better, 4 times better. I think it's like 10 times better than Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
That's a big number.
It is a big number, but there's probably 10 times the amount of stuff to do in this game.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, if you took your hours and like whatever, you can just go by hours played.
Yeah,
maybe you can.
And
we're up with a multiplier.
We're far enough past release that I can talk about the thing that Nintendo kept hidden. So because I don't think I've talked about it on here. I think we maybe touched on it in the Patreon episode, but all the promo for the game was talking about these islands that sprouted up in the sky above the original Breath of the Wild map. And that was what everything was. There were going to be all these islands that you can explore. And really at the basis, there's really not that many islands up there to explore. However, Nintendo completely kept hidden that underneath the Breath of the Wild map is a whole nother map the size of the Breath of the Wild map.
Right.
And it's called the Depths. And it's pitch black down there. It's just awesome, dude. And I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think any of you played Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So back in the day, there was, it might be like the secret ending for the game. You could get an inverted castle and it literally doubles the length of the game. And if you miss it, and you don't even know it's there, but it inverts the castle. So everything's upside down. And that's exactly what the depths are in Tears of the Kingdom. So like mountains up on the surface are like big valleys down below, and everything, it's all inverted. And then on top of that, it's pitch black down there. So there's ways to like light your way as you're going, but it's just so fun to explore down there because you have no idea. You can't see anything until you light it up. But I was just so shocked when I jumped down there the first time, and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure this is the size of the whole of the map, and it is exactly the size of the map.
You know, they're so. Just what I get from that is they're just so clever at designing that game. So someone's like, "Yo, we should just do an upside down version of the map," and but then like, man, but performance and all that stuff. They're like, "Yo, we just won't have it illuminated, so no shadow." Like, the performance is then isolated down to your existence of what you have lit. So like, it's not like there's a sun down there illuminating your draw distance. So
yeah.
They're just so efficient with like
it is. But the cool thing about it is, so like in Breath of the Wild, there are fast travel points called shrines, and they're like little super mini dungeons that you have to do, and then it unlocks a fast travel point. Down below in the depths, there are light routes that light up a specific part of the map. So you can actually get all of those, and it's all lit up down there.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and I will say that like I'm overly impressed with how well this game runs too. Like, it's running on a Switch, which we know is not even remotely close to the most powerful thing out right now, right? And it runs smoother than a lot of the games that I've played on PS5 lately, including Fallen or Survivor. So, yeah, man, it's just it's so good. And I think the coolest thing about it is, like I said, it is the same map as Breath of the Wild. A lot of the same locations are identical. Some of them are a lot different. But the way that you interact with the world is so radically different because of the skills that you have. They're totally different from Breath of the Wild, and it makes the gameplay and everything around it totally different.
The skills, like the new skills that they incorporated in that game, is just ridiculous. Seeing some of like the stuff that people create using all the
it's so cool, man. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they're making some really cool stuff, and we're really close to release. People were still playing Breath of the Wild and figuring crap out. So this game will be played for years. So I can't wait to see like 5 years from now what people are making with everything.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that were very popular in Breath of the Wild that are more prominent here, and the kind of dark area of the depths that was in like maybe a specific dungeon area in Breath of the Wild, like a very small part where it was just pitch black, you couldn't see anything. So now it's here in the depths. And then there's an island off of the actual map called Eventide Island, Breath of the Wild. And if you row a boat out there and step onto the sand, it takes all your gear away. And then it's like a big dungeon that you have to do with just the stuff you find on the island. There's a lot of shrines that are like that now. You pop into a shrine and it takes all your gear away, and then you have to defeat everything in the shrine. There's just so much good stuff in this game, dude. Like, and I would guesstimate I'm probably, let's just split in half, 120 hours in. I haven't even beat it yet. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. I mean, I'm close story wise, but as far as like all the shrines and side quests and stuff, not even close. So,
what kind of cool little contraptions or machines have you built? I see a bunch of funny like flying contraptions or just a whole bunch of wild stuff. Have you guys explored messing around with that stuff?
Yeah, so Roman's built a lot more than I have. I build more efficient things, like a cheap to build flying machine so I can fly around. He's built like a big actual working robot.
Wow.
With some maybe not so appropriate things on it. Because there are fire hydrants that you can put on and they shoot out water. So you guys use your imagination on where he put that on the robot. So I mean, he's built a lot of that stuff. I mean, I haven't done too much building. I'm still, even though I'm 120 hours into it, I'm still kind of playing it like Breath of the Wild. Like I'm still riding a horse when I don't need to ride a horse. I could build a car if I wanted to, but it just feels right in a Zelda game, a medieval game, to be riding a horse, right? So, yeah, I haven't done anything too crazy, but there are some crazy things out there. Like,
I mean, is that just for fun, or is there functional use to have them in the game?
Yeah, I mean, there's functional use for a lot of the stuff. The robot that Roman built had like several ways to attack enemies, so he was just like massacring enemies with like lasers and rockets and all kinds of crap. There's been people that have built like actual like attack helicopters and stuff. So yeah, it's wild. I don't know if I just don't have the brain for it, or if I just don't want to go over crazy in a Zelda game and build a, world-ending robot in it per se.
Zelda Mech Edition.
Yeah. But I did so the one thing that I hated about Breath of the Wild is also in this game, and it's the weapon durability system. It's it's much better in Tears of the Kingdom than it was in Breath of the Wild. But we talked about it on here before. You'd find like a nice sword and it would break in 5 hits. So I actually found a glitch that allows you to get an unbreakable master sword, which is the best sword in the game. Well, one of the best swords in the game. And it doesn't break at all. And you can fuse whatever you want to it. So I have like, I have one that shoots lightning, one that shoots fire, one that shoots ice. And then I have one that can like break through rocks. I have like my whole inventory is full of these unbreakable master swords. And the game is just so much better because of it for me. You know what I mean?
Did they do that in Breath of the Wild?
Break?
The durability thing?
Yes.
And you couldn't forge then? This is
Okay. Yeah, you couldn't put anything on your weapons back then. That's kind of what remedies it in Tears of the Kingdom, because most of the stuff that if you use to your weapons gives you like another 25 durability, but it's still there. It's still very annoying. Even on the Master Sword, which we'll talk about later. I'm going to talk about another Zelda game. That's always the sword to get in Zelda games, right? It's getting the Master Sword, and it runs out of energy. And then you have to wait 10 minutes for it to come back. It's like I went through all this trouble to do this, and this thing still technically breaks as well. You know what I mean? So I saw a glitch where you could do like, and it was really intricate how you had to get this unbreakable Master Sword into your game. But I ended up doing it, and I'm happy I did it because I've enjoyed the game so much more now that I have, all that stuff.
Nice. Yeah, weapon durability is one of those things that like conceptually it joins a host of gameplay mechanics that like conceptually sound cool. And you're like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. You like a little bit of realism here or there. But then when you actually like get into doing it, you're like, wow, this really sucks. I kind of wish this did not exist.
I mean, I get why they did it though. Like, because they wanted you to experiment.
That's exactly it.
Use different things and but still, I like the weapon that I get, a specific weapon, and it breaks, and then I'm screwed until I can find the stuff to make another one.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, like I look through because Roman for the longest time did not have the Unbreakable Master Sword, because I was kind of in the beginning fearful that if you did not do this specific glitch properly, you would lose your save. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do it on his, screw up his save.
Oh, no.
So I'll do it on mine, and then if I lose it, is what it is. But he didn't have it for the longest time. He has it now. I got it for him. But he had such cool weapons, dude. Like, he did so much experimenting with the fusions and all the different stuff. He had such cool weapons. I was like, I did kind of miss out on that. But I also think like my arsenal is very perfect. Like I have everything that I need. I have all the elemental weapons. I have something to break through rocks. I have a high damage master sword. So everything I need is here. It's just I'm not experimenting with all the other cool stuff you can do in the game.
Right. Well, it's cool that you're still like getting a lot out of that game after. I mean, I don't want to say like so long, but yeah, it's been out for a bit, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dad, we'll go from Chad to Dad.
I was not ready. But yeah, I mean, I am kind of.
He wasn't ready.
You've been playing.
You sent me a link, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I got your stuff set up.
Yeah, pulled a quick one on you. Sorry, I was just like, I'll throw a link in there for whenever we get around to me. But you've been playing any games lately?
Nope.
Heck no.
Cool. So Nick,
I don't play video games. I think they're a waste of time and garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm fired.
Yes, you are.
All right. So I actually have been playing something. Well, a couple things.
Lies.
Game. Actually, no better game. You sent me the link too, Mike. Sorry, there's like music blasting in my ear. Tiny Build Games.
Oh yes, Tiny Build.
In the game is called Spider Heck.
Oh yeah, Spider Heck.
This game is so crazy. Go ahead, Mike.
Spider Heck's he has an appearance in our thumbnail. One of the spiders from Spider Heck.
That's what that is.
So while I try to find a good video, so you're a spider and you swing around like a spider. You have a web, and you also have weapons, and you can either play against other people, or you can do like waves of enemies that come in, and you can play with up to 4 people to do this. I'm trying to find a good gameplay. Okay, we'll do this one.
Spider Heck.
Spider Heck. So yeah, spiders with guns, bombs, and lightsabers.
Literally my worst nightmare.
Yeah, right.
What's so crazy about this whole thing is I hate spiders with a passion. Like they are like the things that will crawl into your skin and plant eggs, and you just die.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a
They
thing.
like eat your soul. And
I don't know if that's true, but
They lay eggs in your ear.
They
and
watch
They
you
plant eggs in your skin and you die.
and you just die. You're just dead.
They watch you while you sleep. And
Did
while
you like the
take a
movie
shower-
Eight-Legged Freaks?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if I've
have you
ever
seen
seen
that?
8. Yeah, I've
I
heard of it.
think I've seen parts of it with what's his face? And I can see his face. I can't.
Is that's the big spiders, right? They're like
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
spider. Okay, I'm thinking
It's
of
kind of like
another
Tremors,
one.
but
Arquette?
spiders.
David Arquette?
David
Sorry,
Arquette.
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that sounds right.
yeah.
Tremors is a great movie.
Dude, I
Tremors
love the
is a
first
good
Tremors.
movie.
Yeah, the first Tremors is great, bro. I was thinking of Arachnophobia, which was like an actual spider movie from like the 90s, maybe.
So, with my like hatred and being terrified of spiders, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I freaking love this game. It just doesn't make any sense. I would love to be Spider-Man, but
Are
I
you really
hate
scared of spiders though? Then
Oh man, you know those
do you
shorts?
scream like a little girl when you see one? Like what's
No.
the fear like? You're
So
just
like,
oh, man,
I will save my children from
I'm not
spiders.
scared.
I will save their lives. You know, I'm that good
Okay.
of a dad.
Okay.
But if I'm by myself, I will cry.
I also picture you like freaking out and saving them, and they just look at you like it was just a spider, and
Yeah, it
you're
was just a
like,
spider,
"I saved
bro."
your life."
My kids don't like spiders either.
Oh, okay.
But I'll save the day because I'm dad.
Spider dad.
Spider dad. All right, let me show you guys this, and I'll maybe talk through it.
Please. This is actual
this is
gameplay
the
of you.
okay.
This is actually gameplay. Yeah. So like, yeah, you have different enemies that come at you, and this is the wave.
Dude, force throwing it. Look at this guy.
It's
Force
so
throwing
yeah.
it.
good.
Perfection.
And then obviously
That lava.
you can't fall in the lava. Yeah.
Man.
And there's
Games
a
with
bunch of
lava.
different levels. There's some really ridiculous weapons. There's a bomb. Oh, he just killed himself. He's terrible. It's my kids always ask to play this. I have it for the Switch, and they love it, and they're always asking to play it. It's just so fun. Like you can just
It looks pretty fun, yeah.
like fly
It's kinda-
around and
It's kind of cool how the physics work, because that's kind of like how spiders like fight you. It's like they duck and they like hide behind things.
or just
then they, like,
disappear.
Then they shoot, then disappear.
It's how spiders fight you. If a spider ever came diving at me with a lightsaber Q-tip,
Yeah, I was gonna say if a spider ever fight me, period, I'm done.
I'm done.
The house is just gonna have to be set on fire.
You
Even-
just set it
even
on
at-
fire.
Even at the
We're gonna
real
move on.
sizes, right? Like a spider the size of a dime, but with a
Oh,
lightsaber,
that's an
deadly.
ad.
Yeah.
Deadly. Man, you need that YouTube premium. Get the
Ad,
ad out of here.
ad, dad.
roll 20,
Where's-
baby.
where
We
is-
don't get paid to show ads. Get it out.
So yeah, I mean
a
that's
big lightsaber.
that's the gist of it.
well,
Dude, the swinging is my favorite part.
yeah, it's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And there's like a parkour section where you can just swing around
Is that
And obvious-
Tinkerbell?
with a dagger.
I like the lava.
Oh,
walls.
double bladed?
Dual- Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's
What a
different, like-
bizarre combination of things.
You
Yeah.
must choose.
Is it like it's like a cool party game?
Yeah.
There needs to be more of those, I feel like.
Party games.
Yeah, it's fun.
more
like,
spider party
Yeah.
games.
couch co-op, like
Oh, this would be a good like party spectator game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else in here really. Oh, they're just playing waves. They're
How
up to like
neat.
66 waves.
Dude, it
Just
gets
going ham.
chaotic now.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
I feel like that rock trunk, space rock.
All right, that's all I got.
Execute wave 66.
So yeah, it's fun. It's chaos all the time. You can upgrade weapons and all that. You can there's a level where you're in space. I mean, it's basically all kind of like space, but like you just kind of float, which is really terrifying if you don't like spiders.
Usually how space works too.
But yeah, spiders in space. I'm done.
Yeah.
Count me out of it. But yeah, it's fun. It's a good time killer,
man.
But yeah, that's
Talk about rage inducing. Like you get on a spaceship and you go to space and you're just trying to like focus on space stuff and there's a spider, right? Just like crawling on the dash. Like how
Floating.
mad
Just
would you
burn
be?
the spaceship
Or just
down.
floating. Yeah.
floating while it stares at you.
But
Stares
somehow
into
it
your
has
soul.
an odd understanding of how space works and it's really efficient at moving around in zero gravity.
Yeah.
Oh my
Stuff
gosh.
of nightmares, man.
Down thing about how they would spin webs in like zero gravity, they would just be able to walk on their thread through like midair.
With a lightsaber.
That needs to be, yeah, man. There's like some movie concepts coming.
Yeah,
along.
there's a good horror movie in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's like
do it.
snakes on a plane, but
Spiders in space.
Spiders in space.
Spiders in space.
There you go. Love it.
We can make that happen.
Man. I don't know if I'd ever play that game, but I would watch people play
Oh,
it
it's
and
so much
probably
fun,
like
though.
get a good kick out of it. Nick, what have you been playing lately?
Oh, we're not going clockwise? I thought you'd be next.
Oh, okay. I'll go next. Well, first I think we need to talk about.
Nope, I'll go
something.
next. We're holding that topic.
We're not gonna talk about this.
Yeah, we
Little
can talk
beast?
about it now.
Steam Deck. We're about to change our name to the Deck Boys because we got some big deck energy going on over at Showboys. We all
In more ways than one. Don't you guys have a big deck off the back
I
of your
do
house?
have a big deck, and
Not
I
for
also have a
long.
Steam Deck, and
Not for
then
long.
yeah, well,
deck.
you know,
A deck on a deck.
Deckless.
that's right.
We're about to
I'm
be
about to go
deckless.
play my deck on the deck, bro. Yeah, I got a Steam Deck. Thank you, Steam Summer Sale. Went on sale, 10% off. Held out for a while. I mean, at the end of the day, I saved like $30, but still, it was $30 I was able to use buying games
It's on Steam.
during the summer sale. So, but yes, it's awesome. I love it. Nick, you have one, right? Chad, of
Yes,
course,
sir.
we know he's had one forever. And Dad, you have one on the way, right?
It'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
I jumped on the bandwagon.
He did it. So yeah, Steam Deck's awesome. I love it so much. I've really only used it to, get my Pokemon fix in. I tried to
Animal.
load up Tomb Raider, the remake from 2013 or whatever. But for some reason my save isn't like carrying over between desktop and Steam Deck, so I have to do some investigating. Played a little bit of another game I'll talk about later before the podcast started tonight. Yeah, I'm so glad. It's so nice. I love it. I'm so excited.
What
but-
emulators have you put on it so far?
I got Emu Deck, which is just like a whole slew of different emulators. And the one I mess around with for the Pokemon stuff is RetroArch. It's pretty good. They have like an achievement system on RetroArch.
Yeah.
So some of the older games, like I think Pokemon Yellow has achievements. So that's nice if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of portability, and this obviously blows the Switch out of the water, and I'm so excited. Not as heavy as I thought it would be, honestly. It's pretty
That's
light.
what she said.
Yeah, just lay in bed and play it for 2 hours, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk. That'll
No.
change quickly.
If I come back and I have like double wrist brace on,
Yeah, dude, it's the elbows for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the elbows.
Need to start
It's brutal.
working out and stretching before I get
Instead
a
of
big session
yeah.
in.
tennis elbow, it's deck elbow.
Deck elbow, yeah.
Yes. But we brought up Tomb Raider. We've all been playing Tomb Raider, hopefully, because it is our Patreon play along series that we're doing. So, starting this month, we're gonna tackle the 2013 Tomb Raider remake.
Reboot.
Reboot.
4
yeah.
chapters at a time till we're through it. So we'll probably be done, I think, in November. Going through the game, which is exciting. But the game I want to talk about first here is a little tiny game called Punch Club, and I brought it up briefly before in another episode. But man, it's so fun and super addicting, and I don't even know how to accurately describe it, because it's like, here, I'm just gonna go to the Steam store page and read what it says. Okay. Train hard, fight crocodiles, and find love. Earn your place in the Punch Club ranks and discover who brutally murdered your father in this choose-your-own-adventure boxing management tycoon.
Okay, wow.
Boxing
What a
management tycoon.
Yeah.
It's really fun. You essentially train, work, obviously same thing. Train, work to make money so you can afford your training, or like eat and sleep, and then do your boxing sims. So like the combat isn't actually, you're not like sitting there and actually boxing. You pick like you unlock skills in a skill tree, and as you progress in your skill tree, you can unlock more action bar slots, and then you can pick what skills you want to put in your action bar, and then your boxer just kind of it simulates the fight, and you watch them fight, and they use the moves from your action bar. But it's got like a killer soundtrack. It's really, really awesome, like pixel graphics. I love it, and it's just like one of the it's a great management game of like, okay, I got to work, for maybe a day in the game so I can get some money to go to the gym and train, and then I also got to like budget in food costs so my health and hunger meters are full, and then every couple days you have your fight and you're trying to climb up the ranks, and then there's like this weird side story that's going on where like people in animal masks are like robbing other people, and you all of a sudden become like a superhero, and it's really wild, but it's really fun and I enjoy it. Were you able to find anything, Jeff, to play? Or
The link you sent me.
oh yeah, let's put it up there. Let's go. Oops.
Why don't you let me be producer, Mike?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But I mean, just look at the art style.
Oh,
It's super
yeah.
cool.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah.
It's gonna be a perfect game to play on the Steam Deck.
Yep.
For sure. But
And I was just like talking like a couple podcasts ago that I need a good like boxing game.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily what I was thinking per se, but this looks really cool.
It looks pretty fun.
for some of the training exercises that you do, here's fighting crocodiles in the sewer, of course. But you work your way up. In the amateur boxing scene, there's like an underground MMA fighting ring that you get in. But it's really interesting. It's
I like that it's a simulator. That's what's attractive to me
the
about it.
management simulation tycoon aspect is really cool, and it's difficult. I'm at like a 50% win rate out of like 15 or so fights. Like the fights are challenging, and like being able to manage your skills as you train. Obviously you have like strength, cardio, and agility, and as you do your training and you're working out, like those different meters raise, but at the end of every day each category depletes a little bit, so you have to like figure out when the best time to train before a fight is, but you also have to like work so you have money to have food so you can not be hungry so you can train, and it's a lot, but I like it. And I think if you're into the Nick, I think this is right up your alley because you like the management stuff, and it's a cool, like, fun passive game to play, and it's really funny. Like the dialogue and stuff is pretty funny. Highly recommend it, and you could usually find it on sale for like $2, so that's always a plus. But
Can you play on the Steam Deck? Have you tried?
I haven't tried, but I know it's playable. Here, I think I'm still on the store page. Playable.
It's playable.
Entering some text requires manually invoking the on-screen keyboard.
Right. That's what cracks me up about the playable stuff. Like if you look at it, some of that, like all you have to do is hit the Steam button and X. And that's why they didn't put it as verified.
And it's not even like you have to use joysticks to get the mouse cursor. You have these amazing like trackpads that are like the most advanced trackpads I've ever like touched. Like it
took
almost
like 2 minutes to get used to, but now I'm just like zipping around with those things.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And something else, I have no idea where this came from, but I have a USB to C converter laying around. So like when I was setting up the emulation stuff in desktop mode, I just popped this in, put a mouse in there, and was just using my mouse like around.
Nice.
I was like,
That's insane.
it's freaking sick. But Punch Club right now, $250 on Steam. So
Wow.
Steal.
$250 on Steam
right now.
Wow.
75% off.
Whew. Might have to, just because. Yeah, I always like. It's weird, the Steam Deck verified stuff, like Chad has said. Like those aren't usually the ones I'm worried about. It's the controller configs that are like sometimes worry me when they kind of throw that warning up. But if you know how to find the community configs, that's like the life changer. So like I uninstalled one game because I didn't know about that yet, but then I found that and it's like literally what you have to do for some games, and then it's just like night and day. And it's cool because they have like PlayStation configs, Xbox configs for older games, and that's my favorite thing about the Steam Deck so far. Is it's just like you don't feel boxed in into like something you only have a set amount of options to do. Like there's all these buttons, and you just kind of like you have everything you need, right, to do what you need to do to like play these games. You're not just like, oh, it doesn't work, give up. Like people really tinker with the crap and get stuff to work, and then you get into graphic stuff, and it's crazy.
Well, the whole like community of Steam is pretty great anyways, and the fact that if they make it so accessible, and what I like so much about the Steam Deck is it can be as simple or like as deep as you want it to be. Really, you can just utilize the Steam page and your library from there, very traditional, or you could switch it into desktop mode and like it's a computer, so you can just do whatever you want essentially, as long as you have enough space to do it. So you can really do whatever you want with the thing, and the screen size is awesome. I was a little concerned about how it would feel like holding it, like where the triggers and the bumpers and buttons and joysticks are, but it feels nice in my hands. Like it's very comfortable and easy to play. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I was a little concerned about that as well. But if I can beat Sekiro on that thing, like the twitchiest game out there, like the button, it just feels so comfortable. Now, laying in bed, not so much, but you put a pillow under you, you're good to go. You know,
yeah, you got the wrist and elbow support. You should be fine.
And what I really enjoy about it is that the charging port is on the top. And not the bottom, so the pillow, like it's not affected at all by putting it on a pillow.
Yeah,
big game changer there.
Yeah. So Nick, what you got?
Well, it's funny. I'm not gonna talk about Sekiro, but Sekiro is $30 on Steam right now, and I was like, it is verified, and I was like,
Dude, it's funny because I played it a little bit today actually on the Steam Deck, because you have my PlayStation copy of it. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm just going to buy it on the play. Like it's probably like $20 on the PlayStation Store. $60 still. How is that game still?
Yeah, it's half off right now. Yeah, $60. That's why insane. That's why I was like, I need to borrow it from you because I'm not paying $60 for it. Right. I mean, it's a good game.
It's a great game, yeah, but I mean, geez, that's like Nintendo pricing there, man.
Well, it is
Mario games.
It came out 4 years ago.
Yeah, but it's got the Game of the Year title, and it's
going to hit that greatest hits.
Yeah, it is.
No, never. That's going to require it to go down to $20.
That is true. They still got that nice $60 just chilling. Don't know why.
Crazy.
But yeah, great thing. We'll talk about the Steam Deck some more later. I have been playing not a Steam Deck game, but a game on Steam. I don't know why I got the itch to play this game, but I've owned it for like 2 years. I bought it like Steam sale like two Christmases ago, but I've been playing Surviving Mars. So simulation game, exactly what it sounds like. You go to Mars and you build a space colony up there. And I played another game like it called Planet Base, but like it was super indie and like way watered down. This is like the kind of AAA version of it, which is nice. But they really have things kind of like fleshed out and some really cool concepts. So you pick some profile settings at the beginning that kind of decides your difficulty, but essentially you're like funded, right? You can be funded by like the church or like a corporation or like a nation. and you have like funding, and you get more funding by researching things or sending rare minerals back to Earth when you send ships back. So it kind of reminds me of Avatar, because that's what they're doing in Avatar.
Right.
You know, they're mining the planet and they're getting funding to continue. So it has really cool deep mechanics like that, and a very long skill tree in terms of like technology, and I've barely touched it, and it's just like a ton of stuff. And then there's also like events that happen.
Nice.
But you can hit play, and just kind of while I talk about it, it's just super in depth, because the random events thing is really cool. But you know, you gotta run electricity around, you gotta run pipes, gotta create fuel. It has lots of different resources. I think there's like 8 main resources to manage in terms of like building and fuel and production. But then there's oxygen, water, electricity, power.
Wow.
So everything runs off like drone hubs. So you have to build drone hubs that's one right there. So there's the drones that go out and do all the work. So you have to have those spaced correctly, but you also have resources in their hubs so they can like service things, because things break down and need repaired. Then they also have these like larger vehicles that you see sitting there that serve different purposes. So like you can get transports and create like kind of like transport routes that move stuff around. But it's just so in depth. And there's DLC for it. I picked up a couple DLCs for it on this summer sale, and like one's Green Planet. So eventually you can start like terraforming the planet and making it green and actually have stuff growing.
Oh wow.
So
I got excited.
At this point, it's been like a AAA experience of the early access game I played years ago, and I barely even like touched it.
Wow.
I got excited when I saw that you were going to talk about this tonight, because I don't even know how I got this game, but it's been in my...
I did see you have it.
It's... Yeah, I want to... When did this come out? Because I wonder if it was... wonder if it was like a Humble Bundle game that just like came...
No, I think it came out after that. It's $750 right now. When did it come out? 2018. Could have been a Humble Bundle, actually. Actually, I think you might be right.
Yeah, that must have been where I got it, because I don't know why I would buy this, but I always see it in my library as I'm scrolling through looking for something. And yeah, I'm glad you're talking about it, because I wanted to know what the heck it was.
Yeah. There's definitely a tad of a learning curve. It's probably a bit harder than Timberborn, I would say. But like, this is a dome, and then basically there's different ships you can request from Earth. So like there's like a supply pod, there's a cargo ship where you can get just raw resources. You have to pay for it with your funding, or you have basically you have applicants that apply to come to your colony, and then you can import people. But eventually, I haven't gotten this far yet, but you can basically create a self-sustaining Mars colony where like people are being born on Mars, educated on Mars, and you don't need to do that
the
anymore.
Expanse starts.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can make decisions along the way, like with events, when it's like this. So these fast food chains wanted to come to Mars and like promo their food. Like we would brand all the food on the planet in the colony by this corporation, which was like it was a play on Burger King and McDonald's. And if you picked one or the other, like if you picked Burger King, all food like base buildings are free. Or if you pick McDonald's, food is like cheaper or something like that. Or you can say no, all food on Mars is grown on Mars. And there's different like choices like that kind of like customize the playthrough. So it's really cool. And like this right here, they're basically making a request from Earth, and like you can get more prefabricated buildings and stuff like that. So there's a lot of ways to play the game, because like sometimes games like this, like you kind of hit like a resource lull and you kind of screw yourself and you're just like in a hole and you're like, you have to start over. it kind of helps you through that because you can request stuff from Earth.
Stuff
But
from
if
Earth. Yeah, that's
if you don't play well enough though on Mars, you're obviously gonna run out of money. So lots of cool stuff.
That is cool.
And obviously,
I mean,
things break down like the pipeline, and then everyone loses oxygen.
And then they die. Game over.
I've lost a few people already. You have to pay attention to that kind of stuff because it does creep up on you if you don't pay attention. But
this is that style of game that like I would love to love, but I just can never. I try to get into them and I just can't. They just don't click. But I want to love them so much because they look fun.
yeah, I think somewhere on here it showed like a concrete extractor, which is just like it has like it goes out and like it just like grades the surface on those little mineral deposits and makes concrete, and they need concrete to build stuff.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's super in depth.
I'd play that.
Yeah, right there. That's a concrete extractor. So it's going out there and just like shaving the top of the Earth off, or top of the Mars off. But it's also one of those games. It's kind of like Civilization in the sense that I didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. on Wednesday because I was like, oh, I sat down at like 10
So
to
more
play
turns.
this. And I'm like, oh, look, it's midnight. Oh, no, wait, it's 1. I'm like, I really need to go to bed.
And
But you're
that
like,
happened to me
I need to redo this connection to the dome to make it more efficient.
So my people don't die.
Yeah.
That's
There's
awesome.
dust storms. And then like when dust storms are happening, no solar panels work. No oxygen generators work.
That's cool.
So you have to have sufficient like reserves.
Yeah.
And they're not sure. They like I've had a dust storm last for 2 days
Oh wow.
and like nearly take me out.
How
Yeah.
long does it take to cycle through a day? Like real time?
Well, there's like 3 speed settings. I don't play on the normal. I usually
Hi,
play
Civ.
on
What's up, Civ?
like middle speed to keep
Yeah.
pace with it. I'd say a day goes by maybe like every 5 minutes, maybe 10, depending on the speed I play. That's a good question. Usually, like you're so busy, you're not really paying attention to the days. You're just like, oh, look, it's dark, and then solar panels fold away, and then the sun comes out, and they all fold up, and they follow the sun as it moves. All kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, I'm happy to finally get into it because it's been in my library for. Honestly, maybe I also got the Humble Bundle because 2018 would have been when we were into those.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew how I got it, but
Has to be it.
Yeah,
Has
for
to be
sure. Yeah.
I'll have to post some screenshots when I have an impressive enough colony. I'm still on my like first one, so I'm not like the most satisfied with how things are laid out. But you can mod. I've been adjusting as I learn what's more efficient. The supply depots is key because the drones within their radius have to have access to all the materials because they won't if something right outside the box needs it and there's no materials in that box for those drones to get, they're not going to like cross the next hex over to do it. So kind of have to do some planning there.
nice. Chad, you playing anything else?
Yes, I have. And this one's going to be long-winded, so you're just going to stick with me here because there's multiple stories I got to tell here.
Is it a new game?
It is not.
Talked about.
Yes.
I know
It is a new game that I have not talked about. So
Roman
Roman
is it
finished.
Tsushima?
No. Roman finished Tears of the Kingdom, and we had like a second Zelda sleepover. So I got busted out the Wii U and put Wind Waker on the TV upstairs. So he was able to do that. And he got really into it. And I mean, really into it. He like played it nonstop for like 2 straight weeks. And as I'm watching, I'm like, man, Wind Waker is always a game. It came out on the GameCube, I think in like 02 or 03. I had a GameCube at the time and I got it. But at the time I was already playing like Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid. So I like played Wind Waker. I'm like, what is this shit? Like this is the crappiest graphics little kid game. Like just wasn't into it. But now that I care far less about that, I just want to play fun games. Watching him play it, I was like, dude, this looks so fun. So I downloaded a Wii U emulator on the Steam Deck and I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. And I don't know what I did different about the emulator on here, but it like actually shows up in my game library versus the PlayStation 2 one that I did. The emulator shows up in my library, and then I have to like go into it, and it's kind of janky until you get into the game. So I don't know what exactly. I just followed a video, so I don't know what he did specifically to change that. But yeah, it runs really good on the Steam Deck, and it's just the perfect little like side game to be playing on Tears of the Kingdom, because there's not a lot of ocean stuff going on in Tears of the Kingdom, and this is all exploring islands and being like a pirate. But that's not the story. Go ahead.
They had a special edition Wii U, right? That was like black and had like a...
Yeah, that's the one we have. Yeah.
I bought that, and then last year finally sold that Wii U at our garage sale for like $60 or something. But
yeah,
I wish I could get into the Zelda games. I tried getting into that one and just couldn't.
This isn't the one to get into if you're new to Zelda. This is the one to you definitely should gravitate towards Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Those would be the ones you'd be able to get into. This one's much different, but it's still fun. And so Roman's flying through this game, and I go to work one night at midnight, and he calls me at like midnight. He's like, "Dad, I got the Master Sword. I got the Master Sword." So excited. And calls me like an hour later, and he's like, "Hey, I tried to walk through this door, and I'm getting an error code that says the disc is dirty." So I'm like, "Okay, did you look at the disc?" And he's like, "Yeah, we cleaned it. It's still giving me the error code." I was like, "Oh, okay." So check it the next day, pull out the disc, spotless. The disc is pristine. So I look up online, and it says it's either the disc is dirty or the laser in the Wii U is dirty. My Wii U was sitting in a closet for years before we busted it out for Wind Waker. So I'm like, okay, look up how to clean a laser without taking the whole freaking thing apart. And I see that Nintendo had like a Wii U laser cleaning disc. It's like $200 on eBay. Not doing that. But let's go to Best Buy. There's like a $10 one there. We'll just get that. So go to Best Buy, get this disc, this laser cleaning disc, which has like little brushes on the underside of the disc. No. Okay. Put it in the Wii U. Wii U will not read it, so it doesn't spin. It says invalid disc. So it's totally useless. It doesn't help me at all. So I'm like, crap. I'm like, all right, let's just get some duster maybe, and I'll just dust in there and see if I can hit the laser miraculously.
Can't believe that wasn't your first try, but okay.
well, just stick with me here for a second, okay? Because it gets way worse. It gets way worse. So try the duster. That does nothing at all. So I'm like, you know what? I feel terrible because this kid put like 70 hours into Wind Waker. Literally just got the best sword in the game that he was trying to get, and then an hour later it stopped. So I was like, let's just go buy a new Wii U. We'll go buy a new. It can't be that expensive. So we go to a local game store that's not the local game store I normally talk about, and pick up a new Wii U. Okay. So I bring it back. I have the old Wii U. I need to transfer the save data from the old Wii U onto the new Wii U. And there's a way of doing it with an SD card. So we go back to Best Buy, buy a SD card because I don't own one.
Lord.
Come back, and I start doing it. And it's
what
really,
day of the week is this?
It's like a Wednesday or a Thursday maybe, or Tuesday. So this is a normal day of the week. So there's this thing where you have to like line up the game pads of the Wii you're trying to transfer stuff to. So it can like, I don't know what it does, but you line the arrows up. Okay. And it's supposed to like connect to them somehow. So I do that, pop an error code. And I'm like, oh my God, another one of these freaking error codes. Like I'm going to freak out. So I'm reading about the error code and I can't find anything at all. So I'm like, whatever. This has like been a freaking full day process. I've been doing this for like 5-6 hours now at this point. I'm like, I'm calling Nintendo. I don't care. Just help me. So I call them and they're like, it happens all the time. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to send you an email. You fill out the form in the email. We'll email you back and then we'll get it all fixed for you. I'm like, cool. So wait a day for the email to arrive, fill out the email, wait another day for an email requesting the same exact information I filled out in the first email, wait another day, and I get an email back that says, I'm sorry, I can't. This just like absolutely.
Dude, only you would call Nintendo. Like that would not even cross my mind.
This is like me saying reminding me of my Game Pass story.
Yeah. I was at a loss. I didn't know what to do. So I get an email back from them, and it says something to the effect of, "Thank you. You can now log in on your replacement Wii U and download the games that you had on the old one. We consider this matter resolved. If you have any more questions, check out our web forum." Doesn't say anything about the save data, which is why I fucking contacted him in the first place. I don't own any games on the Wii, so I don't need to be able to download games. I need my save data off the old Wii. So I email him back immediately. I'm like, wait a second. How does this resolve my issue at all? That did nothing to resolve my issue. And at this time, Roman's just like fed up. He wants to play. So he's like, Dad, it's not that big of a deal. I'll play through Wind Waker again on the new Wii U. Don't worry about the save data. I'm like, whatever, bro. You do you. If that's what you want to do, cool.
Plays through these assholes. No.
Plays through another 60 hours, let's say, to get back to this door. And we're sitting there and we're like waiting. Can he go through the door? Goes through the door, error code. So now it's not the Wii. It's not the Wii. It's the game. That pristine game I was talking about earlier. It's that is the issue. So I'm like, oh my God. And he's like just heartbroken at this point. He just played the game 120 hours worth of the same game to get to the exact same error code when we went through a day process trying to fix this. So look up a copy of Wind Waker on like eBay. They're like $100. Wind Waker HD on the Wii U. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like could this get any worse? Like putting the Wii U on the TV during that sleepover that we had was like the worst mistake I made probably of the year so far.
Wait, is the error on the disc that was like printed, so to speak?
Your guess is as best as mine. All I know is that he gets an error code that kicks the game and says there's a dirty disc at a specific door in a specific dungeon in the game. That's it. Nowhere else.
And it's the dungeon that you get like the best sword in the game.
It's directly after it. So he gets the best sword and then he can't use it anywhere because he can't get out of the dungeon.
Yeah.
So
no.
So I'm like, okay, this is the next day now. I'm like, we're returning this Wii because I don't need it, obviously, and we'll see if they have a copy. And I ended up finding a copy at this game store for $60. I was like, okay, cool, because the Wii U was like $160, so I'm like net positive 100 at this point in my mind, right?
Net negative, but yeah.
So he ends up eventually playing through the game, and I think he's beat it now. But yeah, I've never encountered anything like this in my life.
Oh, that sounds awful.
The Nintendo email was just like the most.
So a new disc fixed it.
A new disc fixed it immediately.
That is insane. I've never even thought.
Never heard of it.
Like,
yep,
that's crazy.
There's a bug on that copy, dude.
Yeah.
Don't keep that copy, dude. You could be like, you could sell that for a lot of money, maybe.
Years down the road. Yeah.
Well,
it's funny because there's the dungeon that he's in. He fights a boss and he's in like an open area. So he can go through this door to the rest of the dungeon, or he can leave and go to the open world. He can go and leave and go to the open world just fine. But he needs to do this dungeon to complete the game. So he's going to have to come back to that door eventually at some point. So yeah, it's so bizarre, dude. I don't know. But this was like the worst gaming moment of my life, I think, this entire process.
Your email interaction with Nintendo made me totally reminded me of my interaction with Xbox with the Game Pass fiasco.
Yeah. I it's unreal, dude.
Talked to like 3 or 4 different people like within 2 hours or so while waiting on the phone and being disconnected and like having to call back and like several times being transferred and explaining my problem to different people, having to repeat myself every time. And then they're like, yeah, at the end they're just like, yeah, I don't know, man. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
It's annoying
because go sign up for PlayStation Pass or whatever.
It's annoying because when I called, I got an immediate answer that said, it happens all the time. We know exactly what's causing it. We'll get you an email and we'll get it sorted. And then I get the email and to be honest with you, it almost seems like they sent me the wrong email. Like it doesn't resolve any of my issues whatsoever.
That's so funny. I mean, it's not funny.
But it does.
It's funny to me.
Yeah, but it does. Classic Nintendo with the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. But I mean, misprints, right? Like with like collectibles and stuff are super like rare and like worth a lot of money. So somehow you need to communicate like, listen, under these circumstances, this disc is like unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if like functional mishaps
Yeah,
are
right.
like
That's
as
the hard
valuable
part.
as like the visual misprints. I don't know. It's worth looking into. I mean, what else are you gonna do with it, right?
But
Yeah.
okay, so if he doesn't get the sword, can he complete the game? It's all about the sword, maybe?
I mean, he needed to complete that specific dungeon, so it's not necessarily about the sword, but he needed to go through that door to.
So if he didn't
beat
have
the
the
game.
sword, could he go through the door? Tell
Maybe
him to
it's
play
the
it again.
sword.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I'm not
can't.
sure. Yeah, maybe it's the sword that's the glitch.
The broken
You have the
sword.
Does not
sword and go
compute.
through that. Yeah. But yeah, that being said, like I don't know, man, this game's really cool. I'm a sucker for cell shaded graphics, and they hold up way better over time. I think like this
Yeah.
game's beautiful on the Wii U, and it's shaded is the reason. Because if you look at the original GameCube version, it's like not very cool looking, not very good looking at all. So,
Man, you emulating it on the Steam Deck reminded me that I really want to emulate Final Fantasy Tactics.
dude, I will play through Final Fantasy Tactics with you, and we can do an episode because I've always wanted to go back and play it. Yeah, I've always wanted to go back and play it. There's an actual remake. I don't know if it's a remake or a remaster of it called Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions.
Something.
Yeah, it's a PSP version.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would certainly do that. And I know it's way beyond your price range for games, but I saw a game called Tactics Ogre Reborn that looked right up your. It's been on your wish. Okay, yeah.
It's never going to go into my preferred price range, but I've had it on my wish list for quite some time. Looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Dad, do you have any more games you would like to talk about?
Sure. So I was gonna talk about one game.
Your mom. Sorry.
Got him. I was gonna talk about Gauntlet.
Oh yeah.
So we had our finale of D&D this past Sunday.
We did, yes.
And Civ,
shout out,
was kind enough to buy Joe.
Yep.
A copy of it.
Nick. A copy.
You, Nick. Yeah.
I think he did. But no, Joe.
I mean, Joe has it too.
Well, Joe got us then copies of it for Mike and I, and has maybe has an extra for one.
It's really funny though, because like Civ is sitting there telling us about it, and Joe's looking it up, and he's like, "Dude, I can just buy 4 copies for the price of 2."
Civ's like, what?
Civ's like, what the heck? Because I've been buying it for a bunch of people. He could have just bought. He could have just bought the 4-pack.
That's
and saved himself like $10. But
anyway. So Mike and I played that for a little bit Sunday night, right? I think.
Yeah, super fun.
And
I opened the Steam Deck and it just says like Gauntlet 5 friends, like just down my friends list. I'm like, whoa, what did I miss?
I remember this game like back in the day.
Back in my day.
I forget when it came out, but I remember playing it as a kid and freaking loving it. And I don't know where I've been, but I've missed that they've made remakes of it.
I didn't even know that.
This isn't the first one. I mean, they've made some other ones. But it's super fun. It's a typical hack and slash dungeon crawler. 4 classes: warrior, elf, mage, or wizard, and
Valkyrie with the cheeks.
Yeah. Oh, the armored cheeks.
Yeah. I remember playing. I don't know if we've had this conversation, but I don't remember if it was this version of Gauntlet. There was some version of Gauntlet on Nintendo 64, and I remember playing it. And beating it with my middle school buddy. So when the prospect of playing a remake of it came up, especially for free, I was like, heck yes, let's do it. And it was a blast. Like, I died so many times, and Jeff and I were laughing hysterically. And
You died a lot. I did not
lot.
die that much. Well, you were the warrior.
Yeah.
Or no, you were the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And I was the elf. Ranged attacks do better.
Jeff's
in that
just
situation.
spinning in circles, holding down the shoot button.
How
it was
I-
really
how I
fun.
did.
And like Jeff was saying, Nick, myself, Dad, Joe Cross, Civ, we all have it, and we're all playing interchangeably with each other. And I think Joe might have an extra key.
He does.
You might have to sweet talk him, but you might be able to convince him to give it to you. Anyone who might be interested.
Yeah.
He's talking to you, Nick.
No, I already have it. Civ gave it to me.
Oh.
I don't know who he's talking to then.
I opened up
just some random
anyone out there who is listening.
Anyone on the interwebs.
My Steam library page for Gauntlet is just like achievement for like all these people right now. It's just a lot of activity. Now, this is going to be my new question all the time. Is it deck verified?
Let's take
Store
a look.
page.
Are you on it right now?
Yeah, I'm already there. Playable. In-game, sometimes
Text.
there's mouse, keyboard, and in-game text is small and difficult to read. But otherwise, all
Sounds
functionality is
good to me.
accessible in the default controller config, and the graphics are good.
And it's like that style of game is perfect for
yeah.
handheld.
Yeah.
I mean, top down, pretty much dual stick, dungeon crawler.
Very fun.
I mean, that's also my other, outside of like how open-ended the Steam Deck is. The next big point I love about it is the rebirth it gives, like especially older games. Like you said, like perfect type of game. It's like Battlefront original, like 2004, not 2, like original Battlefront classic, right? Holy crap, is that game like so playable on the Steam Deck?
Nice.
The graphics are in that sweet spot for the FPS. The game is so simple, right? And like beautiful in that sense. Like it's just it's not anything too complicated. It's just a great like little shooter experience, arcade style. It feels like an arcade game.
Yeah, that's that for the Steam Deck, for my money at least. That's the biggest draw for me, is because it makes so many games that I don't have access to currently accessible, including Dead Space 2. I played on the Steam Deck.
Dead Space is
and
playable.
It ran,
original.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 ran phenomenal, to the point where it wasn't really that jarring to go from the remake back to Dead Space 2 on the Steam Deck.
Cool.
So
nice.
Very good.
Speaking of older games and the Steam Deck, the one that I was playing before the podcast started, is a game called Shank, which super fun game. I don't remember if it was Shank or Shank 2 that I played on, like, I think it was PlayStation 3.
Shank Redemption.
Shank was 2010, so maybe it was Shank 2. Either way, I saw these. They're made by Clay Entertainment, who made Don't Starve, which is a super fun game that I played on the PlayStation 4 when PlayStation 4 came out, and there was no launch titles or anything with it, and all I could find really was Don't Starve, and fell in love with that game. But Shank is a fun side-scrolling, like, beat 'em up with super cool stylized graphics. It's wild. It plays really good on the deck. It's not verified. Let's see what we got. Functionality not accessible using the default controller configuration, which I haven't come into any issues with in the maybe have to use mouse and keyboard for something, but I was having a blast on the deck before we went live. You can go ahead and play, but
It already reminds me of Darkest Dungeon.
yeah,
it does have that kind of like
that like bouncy 2D.
Yeah. Darkest Dungeon is a little more cell shaded, but it still has that really cool, like unique hand drawn,
Mhm.
stylized people. You know,
The 2D 3D thing going where it's
Yeah.
just like 2D with some depth.
yeah. But the combat is really
Dude.
fun.
That
You're-
guy behind the bar, he looks like the gang leader in Red Dead 2.
Maybe it is.
Probably.
Oh yeah,
probably
yeah,
is
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is him actually. Same universe. But no, the combat's super fun. You kind of you have dual daggers, a chainsaw, or dual pistols, and yeah, the combat is just is super fun. And again, I think that's something that
Oh yeah, you're right, Nick. He does. Yeah,
It looks just like Dutch.
yeah, he does.
But no, it's something the Steam Deck does very well. It's just brings back these super old games. And I think Nick, you were talking about it a little bit with me. It's just like allows you to. What I love about being able to play games on the go is, like, I don't know if I would come all the way down here, turn the computer on, sit at my desk, and play this game.
Play this
But
one, yeah, yeah.
if I was like sitting up on the couch upstairs and had the Steam Deck and would play for like 10 or 15 minutes and put it down, that sounds like super lazy. That like I
No,
wouldn't walk down my stairs and turn my computer on to play for 10 or 15 minutes, but I would much rather do something else for 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, I think for us, I mean, we sit at our desk all day and work. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I bought South Park: The Fractured Butthole on
Oh,
Steam sale
yes.
because I finally picked up the like 8 hours, 10 hours I played on the first one, and I just casually play that like 10, 20, you know, sometimes an hour at a time, but like that's not something I'm going to sit for 2 hours and play at my computer because it's not a deep enough game, right? It's more like silly fun, and it's not deep, right? It does not a lot of immersion is needed, so it's perfect for me to like sit on the couch and just like play for 10, 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
I'm able to now play games that I definitely want to play, but I'm not going to sit here for another 4 hours after sitting here for 9, 10 hours already. So
Right.
But yeah,
This looks
And this-
fun.
yeah, this game looks like it fits that bill because this isn't, you know, necessarily a deep game either.
You don't need to
Right.
It's
invest
not to do
yourself.
one thing.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I love the like the art style and how it's, you know, dramatic. Especially I love this Vista print. You know,
Yeah,
tonight's
Vista.
sponsor.
I'm sorry.
But no, I just like it's very visually pleasing, and the combat is really fun and fast.
It looks great.
and
You
like
think this is fast?
well, for me, I'm a boomer who doesn't
You
play
wait.
these.
You wait till my next game.
This is violent.
Yeah. But
You
there's
think
some
this is
cool-
violent?
There's
Just wait.
that's just gonna be his thing every time. There's some cool combos you can pull off with.
You think
and-
that's a cool? I'm sorry.
This is yeah, I was just say this is cool. You think that's cool?
Yeah, this
dude.
does look really freaking fun though.
It does.
Hey, I'm just saying
Ooh, it's
again. $249 on Steam right now.
Oh, what a steal.
Dang.
small.
Dang.
Wow.
And it's funny that Jordan texted us. He was like, "I'm not going to watch tonight because I don't want to spend more money on the Steam sale than I already have. I'm
Right?
about to go buy this."
Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks really fun.
But hey,
And like
I
you
need
said-
I need to even check out the Steam sale. I haven't even got on there to look at anything
Don't
yet.
do it.
now Shank
do it.
2 I'm looking at. This must have been the one that I was playing on PS3 or PS4. It is $9.99 though. It's not as good of a deal.
This one?
Shank 2,
Oh,
the sequel to Shank. Which, by the way,
Oh.
those aren't daggers in his hands; they are shanks. Hence
Got
the
it.
name.
Got it.
But yeah,
Makes
Nick,
sense.
you playing anything else?
Yeah, for sure. So like I mentioned, South Park, little revitalization there in that game. And then also Battlefront 1. Played Battlefront 2. There's something like super like loose with that game because like if you use the joystick, it goes from like too stiff to too loose on the last the inner 70% of the stick motion is fine, but if you hit like outside that like toward beyond 70, like it just like snaps.
There's actually there's a set because I ran into that issue on something I was playing on the Steam Deck. There's a setting in there where you can remedy that a little bit within the Steam control settings.
Okay.
Because I can't stand, I don't even know what they call it, but I can't stand where it's like fine aiming, but then if you go outside of that circle, it's like wild aiming. I can't stand that. And there's a way to remedy it within the control settings.
Okay,
so you should check out the control settings because there's a lot of stuff in there. Probably anything you can do on your PC, you can do in there. So any of the dead zone stuff for controllers, all that stuff. I can't remember what game. It might have actually been Dead Space 2 that was driving me crazy with it, but I remedied it by doing the settings.
Yeah, because at first it was like I thought it was just a sensitivity in the game, so I turned that down. And all that did was it remedied it to the point where I could tell what was happening.
Yeah.
Because at first the game was so sensitive to where I was just always hitting that threshold. So then once I dulled the sensitivity like all the way down, then that's where I was like, okay, it's fine here. But once I go outside of a certain motion, it just like whips it.
Yeah.
And that really made me sad because I was like, Battlefront 2, I was just like so smooth with. So, and then it went away with the first Battlefront. That game is fine too. And it's crazy too. Some of the default config, it says to use the trackpad to like aim as if it were like the mouse on your screen.
Oh, interesting.
And you can do that or the joystick, but like if you do it with the trackpad, I was like, I almost don't want to get like used to this because it's so weird. Because it's for Battlefront 2 is better than the joystick. So, yeah, that really weird interactions there, but lots of little games. I'm just like all of a sudden floating to the top of my Steam library because I've been playing them. Really, so I'm just curious what can be played when and where. So I'm kind of building that in the back of my mind. But Stick of Truth, working through that. I was hoping Banner Saga would like really kind of like steamroll, but I've had some issues, not necessarily on the deck, a little bit in terms of like gameplay, but one thing was I could not get past a certain battle on the deck because the map would just be black, like there's just snow effect and the banners of your characters, everything else is just black. So I had to play that battle on the PC and then I could continue it on the deck.
Interesting. So, is it verified?
It's verified. That's
Interesting.
I don't know. Do I need to call Valve?
Dude,
fill out an email.
Speaking of that, yeah, that's impossible because my buddy at work pre-ordered a Steam Deck and then his Steam account got hacked.
What?
And he lost the ability to log in. So he was like, dude, I can't even find a phone number for these people. And I couldn't find one either.
Dude,
so I'm like, I don't even think they have a customer service. Maybe there's an email you can send them. And I think he ended up sending an email. But yeah, it was like a whole process.
That's crazy.
Dang. Yeah.
Change the address where it gets shipped to.
What's up, Chloe? How are you? Yeah, that makes me sad because one of the other things I bought in the summer sale was the Banner Saga trilogy because it went on sale again for like $13.
Yeah.
And Banner Saga 3 has not gone on sale on the Switch, so I'm gonna replay through 1 and 2 again so I can, get my save file for 3. And that bums me out that 1 is buggy like that on the deck. I was looking forward to playing it on the deck.
Yeah. I liked what I played that game. It wasn't exactly there's something I need to like get past. I think that was like a real disruptor in my like progress. But there's also something about like the like travel moments, which
That's
I like.
why it's
They're
perfect
cool.
for handheld.
Yeah.
But like sitting at the computer, like I couldn't. Banner Saga is a game that you can play very passively. And by what I mean is like you can have like I had the switch up, and during the travel moments until a dialogue box popped up, I would just have it on the desk and I would be like working or doing something else. And then I'd see a dialogue box pop up and like, okay, let's go through this scenario. Okay, we're traveling again. Because it really is like a Viking caravan simulator with some turn-based
Oregon
tactics
Trail,
battles
Oregon Trail,
thrown in there every now and then. Which
the map is the coolest thing, though.
the map is
like
awesome, and I figured as soon as you open that up, you would probably be lost in there for a while.
I spent like a weird, like I was just like, okay, I need to stop because I need to actually just play the game. But I was just like,
is the bundle on the sale right now? Yeah, for how much?
It's like $13.
$13.
$13 for all 3 of them.
Yeah,
that might be what I pick up because I played probably. I don't know. Maybe I did beat the first one. Can't remember if I beat it or not, but I played a good portion of it.
Yeah.
I thought you beat them.
It's fun because I don't know how far you've gotten, Nick, but some of the scenarios that pop up, they're like the choices are kind of difficult, and the rewards and consequences are sometimes like you're stuck in like a lose-lose, and like a lot of the scenarios I had a really hard time being like, man, what should I choose? Because all these kind of suck in terms of like what's going to happen with whatever I pick. It's just kind of like, oh man, this is a really hard choice. But I love the fact that it's that Mass Effect style, like your save continues through the trilogy. Your characters in your party like carry over their levels, their items, all that stuff. Which is why I was trying to hold out so long for 3 to go on sale on the Switch, because I've already played through the first 2. But I want to play 3 so bad that I'm just going to play through them again. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just stuff I've been poking at. But we want to talk about BattleBit for a little bit?
Chad, do you have any other games before we go into like communal talk here?
Yeah, I have one more.
All right, let's get Chad's out of the way. Then we'll talk about BattleBit and.
I got one more also.
All right, so let's get Chad's out of the way, and then we'll go and talk about BattleBit and all that.
Dang. Just
I know my place. I know. That's good. I'll go back behind the curtain.
So the last game I have on my list is the Demon Slayer game, and it's funny that I kind of landed on this because I was really close to getting Kakarot the other day, but so close. Oof. I was so dangerously close. And
that on the Steam Deck?
It's actually on the PlayStation Extra, PlayStation Extra, but it's the PS4 version, and because you get it through the subscription, you can't do the PS5 upgrade. So I was like, oh, well, I really want that PS5 upgrade. You know how I am about the PS5 upgrades. So it's on sale. The deluxe edition is on sale for $21 right now. I was like, I should get it. But then I remembered I'm watching Demon Slayer. I just started reading the manga for Demon Slayer, and I never played the Demon Slayer game that Brady got. So it's actually been really cool because I'm reading the manga, then watching the anime, and then playing through it in the game, because it's really kind of an abridged version of the first season of the series. Dude. And this game's so good, dude. It's just that, like, if you're not into anime games, you're not going to be into it, obviously. But for everything that they do in this game, the single player stuff is really good, but the fighting against Brady is the best part of it. Because it's a fighting game, but it's like, I don't even know what they call them, like an arena fighting game, like a 3D fighting game. I don't know.
Action adventure 3D fighter.
Yeah, 3D fighter. So it's like it's a fighting game, but it's not like two people standing and you're moving in towards each other. You have like a 3D area you can run around and fight in. I'm
Dude,
hoping
the
that
Japanese game, $60, but it's on sale for 30. Like,
yeah. I don't know what that's I don't know what that's about. Really good PS5 upgrade on this one too. The graphics are awesome. The skills, I mean, the animation in the game is almost as good as the animation on the actual series, which is saying something because it's probably one of the best animation. It's probably the best animation in anime right now. So yeah, it's just been super fun. I don't want to talk too long-winded on it.
It actually look. I mean, this is very much like how Kakarot is animation versus like it looks. It's a similar transition between like the anime and technically Kakarot looks more like the most recent series, Super, because of the 3D stuff. But it looks very similar to the translation, which is so cool.
Yeah, I really want to get Kakarot, and it always annoys the crap out of me when they put like the deluxe version of a game on sale, but not the base version of the game on sale. Yeah. Because is that a good deal? $21? Yes, because the one that I'm getting is $90. But I don't necessarily want all that deluxe crap. I just want can you give me like a $10 version of the original one and we'll call it a day or what?
That's weird. Yeah, because I got the base one on sale when I bought it.
Yeah, I think that I saw it on sale for like $7 and I passed it up because it was part of my subscription on PlayStation Plus. So I was like, I'll just play it on there. But it's really annoying for whatever reason. You can't do the PS5 upgrade if you do the subscription one, which really annoys me. And yeah, I'm still probably going to end up picking it up because Brady's kind of starting to get into Dragon Ball a lot. So it's probably going to happen eventually.
Man, we should do some sort of CS with Brady on Dragon Ball. I don't know how that would work. We'd do like 30 episodes an episode.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to my cousin about it because it's pretty long, right? Dragon Ball Z, like 700 episodes or something.
Well, I recently just looked at all this. I think like if you do Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it's like 500. So I think it's like.
Well, I don't think he can watch Dragon Ball, right? I think Dragon Ball is like maybe too adult for him.
No, Dragon Ball is like more kid friendly. It just has some outdated 80s, 90s like funny.
Oh, what was I?
Well, that's more. Okay. Goku does some questionable stuff as a 10-year-old that grew up in the woods like he just doesn't know what a chick is, so like he kind of violates Bulma a few times, but she's kind of violated throughout the series because Master Roshi is like an old creep. But it's just stuff like that. It's really still funny because it's actually funny that was done back then.
Right. So yeah, and it was probably just like so normal. Yeah, it's just like Saturday morning cartoon crap we're watching. Yeah, I definitely want. My concern is that I'm going to get the game and I literally know nothing about Dragon Ball Z, and I'm going to have the same effect as Hogwarts Legacy and Harry Potter, where I just couldn't. I was like, yeah, this would be so cool if I knew what the hell was going on or anything that's going on screen. I bet this is awesome.
You know, I think my recommendation would be if you want to get serious about it, start watching. You don't have to watch Dragon Ball. Start watching Z and then get the game and just play along with it because
same way that I'm doing Demon Slayer pretty much. Yeah,
because you don't want to Rebels yourself out of like what was that, Rebels to would you watch that before?
Clone Wars.
Before Clone Wars before Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's the same idea there. You don't want to, because the game is way much better when you're like, oh yeah, this moment it's awesome, and the anime is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with the episode. Like, you don't know how many episodes there are, because I know that like I really want to watch One Piece as well, and I was talking to my cousin about that. And he said
like 1 million.
It's like 1,000 episodes. And he said, dude, the pacing in the show is so bad sometimes that there will be like a fight that lasts like 50 episodes. And he said there was one arc where it's supposed to take place over the course of like an afternoon, and it's like 30 episodes long. He's like the episodes way blow out of the water the actual time that everything is taking place. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not about
Each episode
that.
Is like 5 seconds of the afternoon.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So So like the version we would have watched on like Cartoon Network is 291 episodes. But the newer Dragon Ball Z Kai version, which is more of the abridged, they take out a ton of filler. It's 159, 160 episodes, something
Oh,
like that.
I could get behind that.
And I think it's weird though because they're in that weird limbo with Crunchyroll and the prior service
Funimation.
Yeah. So like Super's not on Crunchyroll, but Dragon Ball Z is. Let me look real quick which version's on. Do you have Crunchyroll?
I have Crunchyroll, yeah.
Okay.
And I actually might still have Funimation as well.
Oh, okay. Then
if they
it might
still
be
have
good.
stuff up on there. Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? Like, what's taking so long? Like, they've been moving this stuff over for like 2 years. Like, is it just
Dude.
like a loading bar that's like just going obnoxiously slow or what?
I don't know if there's like some sort of like legal requirements. I don't know why they're still like lingering in limbo. Like,
Yeah, they bought 'em.
because like, you know, if Disney were to buy, well, no, Disney owns certain things, and sometimes they can't just put stuff
right.
over.
Yeah.
There could be like some sort of weird contract where it's like you have, like, someone was like signed with Funimation, like you have to show Dragon Ball Z OG on your platform for 10 years, and
Yeah.
there's no moving about it.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dad, you watch any more Demon Slayer? You're muted.
You're muted.
Ha. I haven't watched too much more. Kind of got distracted with video games.
Yeah.
But I really, really, really like it, especially after I watched this some gameplay of the game where he's fighting the hand demon.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Dude, it gets so good. Like you're just in the very beginning of it. Like it gets so good, man. I hope you stick with it because it's really good.
Yeah, I really like it so far.
Nice. Dad, what is the other game you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Dead Cells.
Okay.
Which is a freaking amazing 2D roguelike Castlevania with a little bit of Souls-like combat.
You just hit all the
all my notes in one.
buzzwords right there.
Yeah.
Have you played it, Chad?
No, I haven't. This has been on my list for a long time though.
Bro, it's probably my favorite game. It's $12 right now on Steam.
Yeah, I think this won several Game of the Year awards as well.
So.
The year that it came out.
Is this the one that they just announced, like the Castlevania DLC for?
Yes.
Like recently?
Yes. Yep.
And they're like, I think it came out in 2018. Yeah.
And if
and they're still making DLC for it.
Yeah, was it DLC or were they coming out with a sequel? Because I thought there was a sequel.
I'm thinking of
Hades.
Hades. Okay.
Yeah.
It's verified, Chad.
Yeah, that's the perfect, because I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the Vita and it was freaking perfect. So this would be right there.
So I wanted to show just a little bit of the gameplay because it's just so fun. So brutal. Like, and the cool thing about it is like, there's no checkpoints. You die, you start over.
Yep.
That sounds kind of sucky at first, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it like the first couple times I died. But like, there are different like buffs you can get, and also the levels generate, like they change. So it's like not totally the same experience. I mean, you're fighting the same enemies, but like it's just rearranged.
The levels are different, yeah.
Yeah, and you pick up different weapons along the way. It's never the same weapon. I mean, you do run into the same weapon, but it's so like randomized. It's perfect. Like, like I feel like, okay, when I go into it, I'm like, I'm just gonna play once. I'm gonna die, and I'll be done. Like, And I kind of feel like when I start over, I'm like, I really don't want to play this again. But then I find myself 20 minutes later still playing the game.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
it's so much fun.
That part of this game is actually the reason that I have not played it yet. I don't like the die and you go back to the beginning roguelike stuff.
Right.
So it worked for me in some games. It worked for me in Sifu, but that was more. It's not exactly the same. I played Rogue Legacy or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's another roguelike that I don't know, man. I just can't get into it. But this one has always had my eyes because it just looks so fun. And it looks very Castlevania. But the problem is like even like the map down there is straight out of Castlevania, right? So but if the level is always changing, are you always filling out a new map every time, or is it specific sections?
It's totally different.
Totally different every time. Yeah.
There's some similarities, obviously, but it changes for the most part.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So is there like an end to the map?
Yeah, so you like
get to, or
there's different paths you can
sounds
take.
like such a boomer question. So do you ever like beat the level, or
So like so Pat has beaten the game so already, and because I was like, okay, as soon as we beat the game, we're gonna get all the DLC and we're just gonna keep going. I have yet to beat the game. I mean, I can finish a level, Mike. I can do that. But
okay, so so
like you
there is a
like
progression.
level.
Yeah,
there's a
Okay, so, like,
progression. Like you can go different routes. Like you could go to this place or you can go to this place. And yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I need a good Castlevania game, man, because
I really think
there's
you'd
just
love
nothing.
this.
Yeah, there's nothing. I feel like I should play Bloodstained, which is the successor to Castlevania if you want to before this. And then at the same time, like now that I'm thinking, like I have a Steam Deck, I almost certainly can put like a 3DS emulator on there and play. There are really good Castlevania games on there that I've never played. So, but yeah, this has always been on my list. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it looks so cool.
And there's so many cool weapons. Oh man, I really think.
And there's like, is there like samurai armor and stuff in it too? It looks like.
I don't know. I know there's different like outfits you can get.
Yeah. It's just like I don't know. It like in my brain just doesn't compute because like the whole point of like a game like this where you're filling out the map is filling out the map, right? Trying to find everywhere that you can go. But if it's constantly changing, like how do you
I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy in that aspect, but like you just got to explore. I mean, and find these areas. And I mean it's not like such a drastic change. I mean it's similar. There are elements that are different, like and the level changes a little bit, just enough that you're like, oh wow, this is different.
Right. And that definitely keeps it fresher for longer, probably.
Well, yeah,
too.
because like there's no checkpoints. So when you die, you're dead. So like I wouldn't play a game that would just be the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Probably.
Dude,
So this is just different enough that I can.
Could you imagine if From Software would come out and do a freaking Souls game that was set up like that? Where if you die, you go right back to the beginning, just amping. Oh, speaking, I do want to comment briefly on Armored Core 6. I don't know if you guys saw the gameplay trailer for it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so good, man. I know nothing about Armored Core. I played Armored Core 1 on the PS1. That's all I know. But after watching that gameplay, I'm like, oh yeah.
Was that on the PlayStation Showcase that we reviewed?
So that was a trailer. Yeah, that was a trailer. This is like legit gameplay of the game. I don't know if we did the gameplay, but yeah,
I don't think we did.
It looks really, really good.
That's
sweet.
Awesome.
And it's coming soon. It's like August 25th or something.
Oh wow.
Really, really soon. Yeah.
That is very soon. Oddly enough, Jeff, one of the last game maybe, well, I have like a little Pokemon bit here. But
what?
Yeah,
no way.
Surprising. But this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky game that I just recently beat actually is very similar to Dead Cells in a way. I tried my best to find a clip that shows some gameplay too, so that's down there in the chat there if you want to throw that on. But I actually just last night recorded an episode with Play Along Podcast covering this game, and it's really interesting. You play as a Pokemon, and you join so it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. You join a dungeon team, and you try to solve the mysteries, right? But this game actually has like a super cool narrative, and it's a spin-off from the Pokemon franchise, so it's like got a really weird gameplay loop and stuff, which the loop is you go explore dungeons with your partner, and each dungeon is randomly generated. If you die in the dungeon, you leave, you get teleported out, you lose all your items, and you have to start over. So it's similar to Dead Cells in that way, with the roguelike mechanics there and the dungeon crawling aspect. But yeah, it was a game I've wanted to try. I mean, not this specific game, but the Mystery Dungeon series. Tried one of the remakes on the Switch and couldn't get into it, and then got asked to come on Play Along Pod to do an episode about this game. So I was like, all right, this is I actually have a reason. I have to play this now. So
It's for research.
And it's really interesting, and surprisingly, there was a story that was kind of deep, touched on things you would never get in a Pokemon game, which, you know, sometimes you just gotta outsource that stuff. Apparently, what are you seeing? The giant Wigglytuff?
No, I'm laughing at your mad glitch that you just went through.
Oh, nice.
Wasn't me.
But yeah, so let's roll the footage here, see if I can make any sense of this to you guys. But
It's really blurry.
Yeah.
It's this video.
Chad and I can't even look at it.
It's 240.
Chad's literally throwing up.
Yeah, I'm about to throw up already.
The best quality is 240p.
Yeah, this game
Oh
came out like
my
13 years
goodness.
ago, so it's hard to find a trailer or gameplay footage that wasn't like someone streaming it.
I just love that this is what you're doing with your Steam Deck.
Yeah, no, this was actually, I played this on my phone.
Oh, even better.
If you guys shrink the screen, it looks better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 240 pixels.
But yeah, the game starts out, they make you take a little personality test, and assigns you a Pokemon, which is interesting. But yeah, you're just dungeon crawling like this, and fighting Pokemon in really random ways that you're not used to in a typical Pokemon game. Some of the Pokemon you run into in these dungeons will ask to be like part of your team, and yeah, I don't know, it's really interesting. If you're into Pokemon games and you want to check out like a spin-off series, the Explorers of Sky, and I think there's like Time and something else. It's like a little 3-pack that was really interesting. It's unique. Give it a shot.
Wow.
This is what the world looks like if I take my glasses off.
I thought my eyes were getting bad.
Well, turn it off so Chad doesn't throw up anymore.
I have Dragon Ball Z answers for you, Chad.
Okay.
So Crunchyroll one is the 2014 Funimation version, which is 291 episodes with the not awesome soundtrack.
Okay.
Hulu has the 190 episode one. That is the Kai version on Hulu.
On Hulu.
So
okay,
if you can bear watching ads on Hulu, or if you have the ad free,
yeah,
then perfect. You can go watch that on Hulu for the abridged version. It takes out all the filler. You don't miss any story.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Nice. That's what I need for sure.
not surprised that Chad has ad-free Hulu.
What a goat.
Yeah.
I have.
So been playing Mystery Dungeons,
Okay.
Sword of the Sky. I started a run of Pokemon Glazed, which was a fan game on my phone before the Steam Deck arrived. But now the Steam Deck has arrived. I've started my
They all
my
just
playthrough
stoned?
for season 2 of Pokeboys, which we're playing through a ROM hack called Row. It's a hack of Pokemon Emerald that has like the first 8 gens of Pokemon.
You rowing a
And
boat?
Jared and I for this season, we're doing like challenge runs through these games, and we decided to do a fantasy football style draft where we took turns picking
Oh.
Pokemon types, and we each picked 7 types, and we can only use Pokemon that are of those types. So we shrunk the pool of Pokemon we could use from like 800 to like 170 or something. So it should be fun. I'm really excited. It's a challenge that I couldn't find in an adequate YouTube search. I didn't like do a super extensive search, but I couldn't find this type of challenge out there. So I'm really excited to maybe pioneer something. But then that would take people like actually watching and listening for it to catch on. But anyways, that's my little Pokemon bit. Nick, you want to talk about another bit, BattleBit?
Wow, that was
Decent
nice.
segue.
That was nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
unintentional. Didn't plan that one out.
Yeah, so I think between Jorah and I, we convinced most of us to buy BattleBit, and a handful of people. And man, BattleBit's just like exactly what I need out of a first-person shooter, because it's basically Roblox, Minecraft, Battlefield, and to me that's perfect because for those kind of games you don't need to worry about like graphics, and that's what's happened to all those games. They just rather like melt over like the grass moving. That and BattleBit proves this. Once you zoom in on your scope and you're shooting someone, not really anything functionally different between the games, because like the scope and like all that looks as good as it looks, anything else. Because it's not like when I zoom in on like Call of Duty, I'm like, man, look at the grain in the metal on my gun.
Wow, that
right?
tree is so sweet.
Like maybe a little bit you do that, but then then
At
you're back
first.
to like rage killing, because then you get shot in the head and you're like, ugh. So yeah, I definitely want to play more of that game. I was hoping it was playable on Steam, but they're working on their anti-cheat software.
Deck. You're talking about the deck.
Yeah, on the deck. It was playable like really up until recently. I think something about when it kind of released most recently, something broke about it. So they're trying to fix their anti-cheat software or get a new one. And it's just not supported right now with, I think it's like Proton or whatever is what everything on the deck loads with. So hopefully they fix that, because to me, low bit block game shooter on the deck is absolutely perfect. So,
Right.
So it was supported. Now it's not. So that's the big sad, but eventually it will be. It is early access, I do believe. So it's not
shocking,
not complete, but I played on the computer, and you guys have. It's very playable, and
it's very playable.
Has the same learning curve that Battlefield would. So
it seems to have like
really enjoyed that
deep progression with the different roles, and even within the roles, like the different guns and your gear itself.
Yeah, and that's what people want, is that deep progression. Like Battlefield had that. But the problem is like they started to trade off like graphics and other stuff for depth and progression, and then every time you add guns and stuff, and they have to look awesome and everything has to work right. Well, with this, there's like, okay, here's another block.
Yeah, exactly.
it all works the same when you're building your loadout. That's everything. Like the loadout is surprisingly really cool looking, and the way like you modify your gun, like you click on like the scope and then you see all your scope options.
Yeah.
Like it has one of the best like loadout modifier pages I've seen, because you're not just like browsing through the catalog of things you own.
Yeah.
You're like, click this part of the gun and it like moves a little bit. So
Which was very confusing at first to me. So I was like,
yes,
what do I do in here? And then I was like, oh, I can actually click on the scope. And then there's like things I could pick.
here's my
super
scopes.
cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it's like the things that matter are like really awesome in that game, and they just kind of like shed the stuff that doesn't, right? So
What's the biggest match size?
127.
it's 127 versus 127.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you can
wow.
It's
That's wild.
ridiculous.
get
Yeah,
that, and then
that's
there's
crazy.
64 versus 64 and 32 versus 32.
Yeah,
Just keep halving it down.
dude,
It's
insane.
there have been lots of laughs had playing that. It's pretty funny. Just seeing like Roblox Minecraft characters get ragdolled through the air, like tanks shooting down Lego helicopters into buildings, and
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And I like the snipe in that game, in those games. So I don't need great graphics to like snipe someone across the battlefield. Like I can't see you anyways.
Right.
I'm just kind of guessing at your pixels anyway across the map, like hoping I hit.
There's the cluster of blocks that could be it, or that could be it.
I will say I have a hard time like seeing the enemies because everything is just blocks, and then I'm like, oh, I'm dead. Okay, there must one of those blocks had a gun.
Well, that's the weird thing is like I haven't seen this in a shooter. Like you can drag your injured enemies and then heal them.
cool.
So like,
Yeah,
I get confused between like who's when they're on the ground, because you can lay down in this game. Are they dead on the ground? Are they being dragged on the ground? Or are they about to kill me from the ground? Like that's my difficulty. And then like you said, there's the ragdoll effect thing. So it's like it's moving, but like I'm watching it the stop moving. Like, is it dead? Like they're just shoot it again,
And then you die.
and then
yeah,
I die.
and then you die. So much dying.
Buildings collapse. I like when like the building's shaking.
Yeah.
You're like, I need to get out of here. Like
Yeah,
it
the
works the same
destructible
thing.
environment's super cool.
You'll have some guys just going around with a hammer, busting out the supports. I'm like, what are you doing? And then it collapses on you.
That's
They
awesome.
get kills.
I
Where's
will
my
say
teammate?
I love the way you can join your friends'
Yes.
sessions. You can see their lobbies like under the game type options, and you can just like, oh, Nick's on, I'll just click on there and bam, you're right in there. And it joins you. If there's room in their squad, it'll throw you in their squad.
Yeah.
It's super user friendly when it comes to playing with your friends, which is nice.
With those map sizes, it kind of has to be. They just need to get people in there.
Right.
Super fun. But so not only did we make Chad want to vomit with 240 pixels, but now we just spent 10 minutes or so talking about a multiplayer game. So he's
Pixelated
feeling
multiplayer games.
very nauseous right now.
Sorry, Chad.
I mean, it looks cool. I'll give you guys that. It looks like Roblox, and I think my kids would be all over this game if they knew about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. On the Steam sale, I got my turn-based tactics library has grown immensely.
Do you have a library like customized to where it's all your turn-based tactics?
No,
games?
I should do that. I had categories for like
sorry.
I had categories for games I wanted to stream and games I'd play off stream and stuff like that. But I should do the TBT category. That'd be great. But I ended up picking up the Banner Saga trilogy. Wasteland 3 was only like $8, which was very exciting. So that's been on my list for a while. I learned about a trilogy called Shadowrun, which is like a magical cyberpunky type turn-based tactics game. And then I picked up Gears Tactics, Gears of War.
Gears Tactics. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me either, but it was only $9, and I was like, "Hey,
I'm definitely gonna have to pick up the Banner Saga because I really do want to play those games. Maybe we just eject Tomb Raider and we all do Banner Saga.
Gears Tactics, $10.
$10, dude.
Playable on the Steam Deck.
On the Steam Deck. Yeah.
Gears 5 is $10. What?
Yeah, turn-based tactics are just, I can't help it. I can't help myself with those games. It's all because Triangle Strategy. That game has sent me down a rabbit hole that I can't climb out of. It just made me aware of a genre that I didn't know I loved.
Yeah.
And now I'm just trying to embrace it.
Ooh, I would play that.
But yeah, you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here? I don't have anything else.
Nothing.
So Gears Tactics.
Gears Tactics. Moral of the episode, though, you need to buy Steam Deck.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
This episode actually is brought to you by Valve Steam Deck.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, I can tell you about a game that's playable and I bought, but I haven't played yet. And that's L.A. Noir.
Noir. Yeah,
Noir.
dude. Great game.
Noir.
Freaking phenomenal game. Love that game.
I can't
Hate
wait.
that
Yeah.
word, though.
Yeah.
I all hate that
Noir.
word.
Yeah, I do.
Noir.
Noir.
I think maybe after Stick of Truth, I will start that. But I need
Perfect
like
Steam Deck game. Yeah.
I know I need like a session, like hour or two on the couch to like dive into that one.
Well, yeah, it's almost perfect for the handheld too, because once you get it like actually into the game, they're split into different cases. And some of the you sit down and do a case in a night and be done and move on. So it's it's perfect for the Steam Deck.
Oh, wow.
Was that on sale too?
Yeah.
$6.
It's $6.
$6. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
sad
I
about to
played-
spend so much money.
I mean, I can't rebuy that game. Because I bought it on the PS4 or whatever it was on. I think it was PS4 originally. I bought the PS5 version when it came out, and I also bought the Switch version as well. So I just simply cannot buy another copy.
There's a
of the game.
PS5 version.
There
He's
is a
going to buy it as
PS5,
soon as we
yeah.
get off.
Yeah,
Is
Did
that-
they redo anything for it, or it's just
yeah, it's a remaster of it.
okay?
They changed. The graphics are obviously upgraded. I don't know if it runs. I would imagine it runs 60 FPS, but they changed around some of the mechanics of the game too.
So $6 on Steam is where you draw the line and rebuying games, Chad.
Yeah, because I bought that game 3 or 4 times. I just can't do it anymore. I'll get an emulator.
You bought Tsushima and GTA 5.
I bought Tsushima twice, and I bought GTA twice. So actually, L.A. Noire is above both of those.
Wow. I did not expect that.
Yep.
I was looking through the pictures in Steam. Is that John Noble?
It's
You
the
guys-
guy from oh man, I
You know who I'm
forget the name
talking
of the
about, right?
show. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
He was
about.
he was in Fringe. He was in Lord of the Rings. The Crazy King.
Yeah, keep going because there's another big show. Mad Men. He was in Mad Men briefly.
He
Is
was
that
in
who you're
Mad
talking
Men?
about? Yeah, let me double check and make sure. You're talking about the main character?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you
okay.
go to the page, I was just scrolling through the screenshots.
Can I just ask you a question, though, Jeff?
Uh-huh.
Has your HP slowly been going up throughout the
Yes.
episode?
And I actually forgot to do it.
That's amazing.
He's
I'm
feeling
feeling-
better.
I'm feeling really good right now. So thanks, guys. You woke me up.
His HP is going up. His bank account is going down.
So-
throughout
right.
the episode.
What was the Yes, John Noble is in that game. You're right.
Okay.
It's really good. It's the system that they had. I really wish they would have kept going with that series, but it's basically a lie detector game. I guess is the best way to put it. Like you'll sit down and interview people, and they'll give you a specific facial animation, and you need to determine if it was a lie or if they're withholding information or if they're telling the truth. but at times it's like abundantly clear when they're lying. Like they'll say something and they'll be like, so it's like, okay, yeah, obvious a lie. But even once you do that and you call them out for lying, you have to find a piece of information or a clue that you found at the crime scene to say that they're lying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great game, man.
Gotta have your bullshit detector on.
Yeah. Yep.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you can't just like lean across the table and like punch their teeth in. Tell me the truth.
Nope. No, I wish. Yeah.
It's not Red Dead.
No, definitely not.
add it to the list of things Rockstar should do more of.
Yeah, I mean, when that game came out, man, I was already like, so I obviously, you know, I'm really into the Shield, the series, which is a LA crooked cop, and I'm like, dude, Rockstar should do a freaking cop game. And they come out with this, and the title of it was like new LA based cop game from Rockstar or something. I was like, holy crap, bro. Like, are you kidding me?
The game.
The game. Yeah. That's what I thought I was getting. Now, obviously I didn't get it. That takes place in like the 30s, but it is still a really good game. Really good game.
I would play End of Watch, the video game.
That would be
in a heartbeat.
That would be an incredible game.
Yeah.
Like
Man,
just
wanna watch that
rescuing
movie.
like human trafficked people like
Right.
from shitty neighborhoods. Like,
Yeah, dude, there's
Sign me up.
a really good cop mod for Grand Theft Auto that I played a colossal amount of. That's basically End of Watch, the game, and it's so
awesome.
impressive, like what they do with those mods. Like it totally revamps Grand Theft Auto 5 and puts a cop spin on it. Like you pull people over, you can pat them down, you can search them, you can give them tickets. It's crazy all the stuff that you can do.
That's sweet.
Nice. Well, there's a lot of games that we talked about, and a vast majority of them are currently on sale in the Steam summer sale. So
big sale.
if you watch this, when's the summer sale end? In like a week?
14th, 13th, something like that.
Yeah. So basically, by next episode, you can pick up a lot of the games we talked about at a pretty steep discount on Steam. So you
July
can also get the
13th?
Steam Deck.
At
Yeah,
midnight,
next Thursday.
basically. Yep.
So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe here if you enjoyed what you heard. Check out Showboys Gaming over on YouTube. You can subscribe there. Go back and watch last week's episode with Ben Berman. It was super fun. A fascinating guy. That's a fascinating guy. Until then, sign up on Patreon so you can listen to us talk about Tomb Raider, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Bye.
So I just yawned and my ears popped and that bass hit real hard out of nowhere. If you think that's crazy.